Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Training. I hope you're having a fantastic week. As always,
we are live from Austin, Texas, right here at Insurance Syndicate headquarters, and man, we have a great show for you.
Good morning. What is happening, man? It's Tuesday. We're a few minutes late, but we are live because that's how we do it every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Central, right here in Insurance Syndicate headquarters. We're going to have a fun show for you lined up. Going to catch up with a good buddy of mine that we haven't talked to in a while, Mr. Pete Fournier. He is out there in the Carolinas with All Things Insurance Group. He is the Swiss knife of insurance, and that's what we're going to be talking some about today, catching up with him. A couple of quick announcements before we get rolling. I don't have a lot of news for you. There's really nothing going on. I mean, there's one thing that popped up that said, hey, Medicare recipients can now use Amazon's pharmacy RX Pass. So Amazon has a pharmacy savings program as well, RX Pass. Now Medicare recipients can use that. But other than that, nothing really amazing in the news unless you just want to talk about war, which we could certainly do. But that's not what the show's about. So one major announcement. You may have seen the live that we put in the group last week, and then we did another one in a neighbor group, Marketing for Insurance Agents. But we are going to be hosting a content creation workshop right here in Insurance Syndicate headquarters on September 20th. Going to be a great event. You're going to get 2 ticket levels, basically a general admission and a VIP. The general admission will include the content workshop, networking, food, lunch, etc., all of that good stuff. The VIP is going to include some extras, including everything that you need to help you shoot content. Lapel mic, selfie stick, ring light, and then we're also going to take those VIP members out on location in Austin, take them to some very iconic sites and shoot some content. Our goal is to help that group create enough content in their bank that they will basically have content for the rest of the year that they can utilize and repurpose. So going to be a great event. And then we also have at the end of the VIP session, we will be having a party right here at Syndicate headquarters, games, food, drinks, private catering, the whole 9 yards. So if you've ever been to any of the Insurance Syndicate events, best thing I can tell you is we like to throw a banger. So if you've been to one, you already know. But if you haven't been to one, buckle up. But September 20th, we are going to be here. It will be myself, Mr. Joe Campert, and the Dennings, Elle and David Denning from Marketing for Insurance Agents. We are putting this together, and it will be a great event. So look out for that. There will be more coming in the post in the group. So with that said, man, thank you all you guys for tuning in, and let's get the man of the hour on stage and talk to him. What is going on, Mr. Fournier?
What's up, Merwinator?
I'm doing great, dude. I'm doing great. Honestly, if I was doing better, I'd probably fall down in fits. And it is always good to see you.
You as well.
So what's going on out there in the Carolinas?
Oh, storming like crazy right now, which means people are home, which is good. But yeah, it's pretty disgusting. We're getting a tropical storm.
Derby.
Yeah. Whatever wacko name they want to call it.
Yeah. So I like your little background picture there. I see him, Mr. Monopoly, chilling, got his feet up, saying "sling it," ATIG, everything's popping. That's outstanding. How are things at ATIG? And for those of you who don't know, ATIG is All Things Insurance Group, which fits Pete's brand perfectly because, again, as I said earlier, Pete likes to be the Swiss Army of insurance knives, as you might say. So we'll talk some about that.
Yeah. Things are going great. Big time seminar space right now, both for Medicare on the T65 side, as well as gearing up for AEP. And then big time in the annuity space. If you are not taking advantage of fixed interest rates right now, or how high some of these interest rates are going, we're seeing upwards of 10.5% for a decade, which is insanity. use the problems to create opportunities. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I've seen plenty of my friends posting online today and yesterday that their investment portfolio has now been, what is it, been unburdened by what has been, I think is what they said. So, yeah, it's a struggle out there. So definitely annuities are hot. A lot of people that know you, they know you as kind of the life insurance guy, but as you just mentioned, you're doing T65 seminars. I already said that you're doing all things insurance. But I want to precursor a little bit. How long has it been? Because you have to catch me up. Because I think it's been about 2 years since I had you on the show last, or close to it. When exactly did you start ATIG?
November of 21.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's been a little, okay. So it has been a bit.
Inception. Yeah. First deposit was, I think, January 22nd of, first positive deposit, we'll say, was January 22. I had it framed in the office over here.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. What, how many guys you got on your crew over there at ATIG?
Right now, I think we're around 462 the last time I looked at the agent roster. That's across the board. So 8 LOAs right now. We cut down on some. As always, not everybody makes it in this industry. What are you going to do? And then probably about 450-ish on the broker side.
Outstanding.
Shabby.
Say that again?
Not too shabby.
No, not bad at all, man. That's outstanding. I am on your heels, but we'll get there. When you're bringing your LOA guys in, like, what are some of the things that, if you're talking to another agency owner such as me that has LOAs as well, what are you looking for in that LOA to help you define, like, this is my ideal LOA target?
Yeah, in exact order would be accountable, teachable, coachable. I was recruiting heavily over the last couple of years in the reverse, because it's easier to say you got to be teachable, coachable, and accountable. Arguably, you should go in alphabetical order: accountability, coachability, teachability. Accountability, because even if they're sitting here in the office or they're remote, like, I'm not on their ass 24/7, 365. Like, I got to run a company. So you got to run your own accountability. Also, too, from an interview process, if they are, I was on a podcast last week and we were talking about this. Most people, if they're sitting across from you, Tony, or from me, and they're interviewing, they're probably at rock bottom, or not doing so hot. And not saying that our space is like terrible, but like, no one wakes up and is like, I'm going to go sling insurance today.
Right.
I mean, so having accountability for why they're coming into the industry, and if they are broke or near broke, or maybe just above broke or over broke if they have a JOB, what's their accountability for being in that situation? We know it's their fault, right? It's not outlying circumstances. It's not health problems. It's not, my mom's a real see you next Tuesday and doesn't believe in me. Like, those are all outlying factors, but can the interviewer take accountability for where they're at right now, and where do they want to go in terms of growth mode? So when I'm talking to a lot of these recruits, it used to be just sling agents at the wall and see who sticks in terms of training, coaching, etc. Now we have a more refined approach from an interview standpoint to really get to know these people and why the hell they want to not work with us in general, but work in the insurance industry in general. And then beyond the accountability factor is coachability. Listen, you're going to mess up. Well, we're in the syndicate. You're going to fuck up like 58 billion times throughout the process of your career. I still fuck up on a daily basis, right? So having the ability to take constructive criticism, I'm not going to be mean to you by any way, shape, or form, but I'm not the most PC and a little crass every once in a while. So I'm going to tell you when you screw up. And then teachability, I think, is different from coachability. Are you intelligent enough to know and understand a product, and know and understand a script, and know and understand the sales process and where you're going? So it's not just critiquing, it's along the way. It's, can you memorize some shit? Do you have at least some level of book smarts to know the difference between an IUL, a whole life, a term, an annuity, a MIGA, right? Because our industry is pretty complicated. So you have to be at least a little bit intelligent. to be able to remember that stuff. So I think those three attributes, digging deep into those, especially during the recruiting process, will get you less of a fail rate. You're always going to have people that drop off, but that more refined process is getting people to stick better and better.
Yeah, makes sense. Help you kind of explained it a little bit in there, but help me understand the difference between teachable and coachable, because to my dumb ears, it sounds like the same thing.
Yeah, I think teachability would be learning something. Like I'm going to hand you a script. I'm going to hand you a script, Tony, and you're going to memorize this. Good old American equity right here. But I'm going to hand you a script. I want you to memorize this over the next week, and I want you to deliver it to me. And I'd also like you to understand the why behind the words in here. Like, why are the commas here? Why is there an ellipsis here? Why is there a pause here, etc. Coachability is throughout the process. Hey, man, don't ever say those words again. Or don't do this, or quote them this way, or whatever the case may be. So I think about teachability is like, can you learn and apply? Coachability is just moving the dials and knobs throughout the process and helping you optimize yourself as an agent.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. How are you normally finding your LOAs?
A lot of social media. Almost exclusively social media.
Social media ads or just organic work through social media?
Yeah, never paid for a recruiting ad yet. Knock on wood. I like wasting money on a lot of things, but recruiting ads is not one. And I know a lot of people that crush it with recruiting ads, and that's okay. Yeah. Like if you're doing well with it, definitely keep spending the money. I'm not telling you to shut them off, but we do a lot of organic stuff here with like UNCW, with the college. I just cracked 100,000 followers on Instagram, so that doesn't hurt to be posting on a daily basis there. But a lot of it's from like the Facebook groups, Instagram posts, a little bit of like more market or organic stuff here. I'm going backwards a little bit from a recruiting standpoint too, in terms of talking to the guy at the drive-thru at Starbucks and being like, yo, you're really nice. You like your job? No, it sucks. Here, come interview, that kind of thing. Or the waiter at Roots Chris or something like that. Because back in the day, we used to do that extensively, like 10, 12 years ago, before like Facebook ads really started kicking up and stuff. Like you would just meet people in hospitality, bars, restaurants, whatever. And I started doing that more and more again over the last year, and we're getting some decent talent out of it. I mean, it's hard to scale doing that, but hey, you can make a lot of money with like 10 people,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So when you're recruiting your brand new LOA, I assume, are you recruiting unlicensed people? Are you recruiting licensed people? Are you okay with either depending on the person?
Yeah, okay with either. License going backwards, I've tried, and those people scare me. And I should have saw the red flags ahead of time. Like, oh, I was a broker. Now I want to be LOA. Give me free leads. And you're like, and about a year or two ago, I was like, yeah, come. And then all those people fell to the wayside, which I should have known, like a dummy. You know what I mean? So that's a slight red flag to me of like, oh, I was a broker. Now, you may be in a situation where like you have the worst upline ever and like you had no training and whatever. Fine. I understand. There's extenuating circumstances. But for the most part, we're going after brand new people so they don't have bad habits. We teach them how to actually work for a living on the LOA side. On the broker side, it doesn't really matter. We have some brand new people that just wanted to go broker and have high comp and still get training and purchase leads and stuff like that, and they do well. And then we have some existing people that want to migrate to the broker side. But LOA, I'm trying my best to stay with newer agents. Or at least like neophyte agents. You're in your first year and you don't know what the hell you're doing,
Right.
Yeah.
What do you do, or what steps do you take to help them get through licensing if they haven't gotten that done yet?
They got to pay for it themselves. If you don't have $99, you probably shouldn't work here. And then we reimburse them as soon as they write their first deal. So if they're doing pre-licensing, post-licensing, fingerprints, if you got a weird state like North Carolina, you need a med sub certificate to sell Medicare. It's a pain in the ass. We'll have them pay for all that. They write one deal. It doesn't charge back immediately. We reimburse them for that stuff. So you got to have some skin in the game. And arguably, if you're really that down in the dumps and you don't have $49 or mom and dad doesn't have a credit card or somebody that you can borrow $49 or $99 from, that's also a red flag because
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
write some bad deals just to get paid. Like, it's not a good look. We're in business to run a business. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. It's resourcefulness. And I feel like resourcefulness is a huge trait that insurance agents need to have. And if you don't have enough resources to scrape together $50 to $100,
Yeah.
something's wrong there.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
yeah,
business that you can start for yourself, you know?
absolutely. Are you just curious? And I'm sure there's some other guys out there thinking this because I'm wondering it. Are you paying them while they're studying for the licensing exam and you're training them also? Or are you like, nope, go get your license and then I hire you?
Yeah, go get your license. I've tried in the very short time that I've had the LOA program, like 2.5, 3 years maybe.
Okay.
I've tried every different way, like
Sure.
paying hourly, paying salary, paying while they're in training. The better people, I think, to your point of resourcefulness, go get your shit, come back to me when you're done. And I think a lot of people, and again, everything works and everything doesn't work, right? So I'm not saying this is the end all be all method, but for the people that do that, one, they get their license a hell of a lot faster.
Mhm.
Two, they care more to start working quickly because they're not getting paid. And three, they pay fucking attention when you start teaching them stuff because they have to go make a sale.
Correct.
So you want that sense of urgency, I think, a little bit. Now, if you want to give them a little stipend or something and it works for you, that's great. But it hasn't panned out for me personally in the past.
Understood.
Yep.
Are you hiring them to bring them on as a life agent? Are you hiring to bring them on as a Medicare agent? Like,
Yeah.
what is your initial? Because I know you're all things insurance group. You do everything, but you can't bring that neophyte in, get them licensed, and then unload them with everything.
No.
So I'm kind of curious, like, what is your? Are you picking certain people to do life? Are you picking certain people to do Medicare?
So tried that. Didn't work so well. Tweaked. And like, it's all my fault. You know what I mean? Just like it's all your fault, whoever, right?
Yeah.
You're at the top of the food chain. It's my fault. Accountability. However, best practices, at least in my eyes, have been start with final expense. You're already in the senior market. Then get trained up, usually within 3 to 6 months. Some of our LOAs that we have right now are drinking from a fire hose that started last month because we're also have them in the process of doing weekly trainings for Medicare leading into AEP. I don't expect much of them. Like if they put up 40 or 50 apps, good job. But this is the learning year, right? To cut your teeth on that stuff, especially if you start mid-year. But what I like to see is 3 to 6 months on FE, start to learn how to cross-sell Medicare. And during the same time, because it's a very high ticket item for ATIG and it's a big revenue booster, is start setting appointments for annuities. So we have a little baby script at the end of their presentation for final expense that says, like, do you have anything that acts like life insurance, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cash on a mattress? We have some products upwards of 6.5%, 8.5%, 10.5% interest fixed. I don't know if you qualify, but if you want to speak with one of our experts, we're happy to set an appointment for you. And if they say yes, I'll run it, or one of our studs will run it from the annuity standpoint. And then we do an app split with them. So like an LOA has a chance of making $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 just by setting an appointment. And that gets them, again, like a little taste of like big dog sales. And then they want to learn that faster. But it's still a gradual process. I would say they're going to become a Swiss Army knife by the beginning of their third year is the old.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Third year Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. But some of our guys and girls, like, they just want to set annuity appointments and make 2 or 3% and whatever.
And they're good with it.
Yeah. Bring that revenue. Who cares?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. What on your broker side, what are you kind of looking for? Are you just looking for guys that just want access to Pete? They want some good products to work with, but other than that, they kind of run their own deal?
I want to cultivate business owners. I think a lot of brokerages, and you've seen this, right, with your tenure, is they're formulating more so like drones. Hey, I want a bunch of worker bees out there slinging final expense. Let's produce $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. Let's go get them. And like those producers make good money. Like I remember personally producing like 8-10 years ago, and I was a drone. I was running around selling mortgage protection, but it was always money in, money out. So more so, and this is not maybe in their first year, but cultivating like you should have an LLC. You should have a separate principal on your corp, so that way they can assume commissions, right? God forbid something happens to you. You should be building a basis of renewals. So if you're in the young people market, let's teach you how to cross-sell ACA so you can get some cash flow, because everyone's dream should not be a personal producer for the rest of your life, but you need constant cash to be able to build an agency. So if they're in the younger space, life insurance, ACA, maybe some annuity talk or infinite banking, IULs, etc. In the older space, obviously you got final expense, Medicare, annuities, MIGAs, etc. We have some that are really polished that want to get into the B2B space. So we teach them how to do group benefit plans and stuff of that nature. But really, like, developing a track record for the brokers to not just say, hey man, I can't wait to make $5,000 this week, and then hopefully do it again next week, and then hopefully do it again this next week. Like, you want them to have mailbox money eventually, and also grow something that's bigger than themselves. And even a solopreneur can still act like a business. You should have your own P&L on a weekly basis. You should have your own balance sheet. You should know exactly what you're spending money on from a fixed rate basis in your personal life. So it's more so like teaching them how to think like a business owner, even though they don't have maybe a brick and mortar or an agency yet, is what I want to bring to the table on the broker side.
And you're saying that an agent, even if they're a solo dude, that they should be examining their P&L on a weekly basis?
They should. I did it for years, and all I saw was money in, money out. And I was like, fuck, like, why am I not growing? You know, you're just like, incrementally going up. You should be like hockey sticking this. So how do you do that? You got to analyze where you're spending and what you're spending on, and then where your revenue is coming from. Because a lot of people will spend a ton of time. Like, I joke about some of these people that post online every once in a while. Like, you're advertising dental. I saw 17 posts about dental insurance. I don't know about you, Tony Merwin, and your comps, but I don't make fucking shit on dental insurance. Why are you advertising that? You know what I mean? So I understand, like, you want to bait people in maybe with a certain product that's easy to sell, but at the same time, if you're spending 45 hours a week slinging UHC's dental product, like, what are we doing? So like, examining where the money is coming from and where the money is going to. Like, if you're spending $3,000 a month for a billboard on Main Street, like, has that been effective? Should you be switching to direct mail or seminars or something like that? And I say on a weekly basis too, because if you don't pay attention to your money, it will start cheating on you 100%. It will leave your ass. So I look at all my accounts at the beginning of each day, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., whenever it is, 6 a.m. if I wake up. I log in. I'm like, ooh, nice. And then at the end of the week, my bookkeeper sends me a P&L. And I'm like, what the hell happened this week, right? And it's quick. It doesn't have to be this super analysis. And then at least every quarter, you should reassess where you're spending your marketing money. Is it on direct mail? Has it been successful? Is it on Facebook leads? Has it been successful? Because again, there's very little optimization on the broker side, even as a solopreneur. Or sometimes for agency managers too. They're like, they don't know what the hell they're spending money on. But analyzing and optimizing where the money is going and what's coming in from it, and what's your ROI and time spent on that stuff. I think it's super important, and no one does it, because I didn't do it for years.
Sure. Well, knowing your numbers is absolutely hyper important. So I understand it from that perspective. When you said weekly, I'm like, that seems a little overly frequent. Like, I would think monthly is probably all right to kind of look, and that's generally what I do. I'm like, all right, how do we do this month? Let me go back and really look at everything. Where did we screw up? What mistakes have we made? But I get weekly too, because then you're more on top of it. You can catch something faster.
Yeah, and I think, like, I'm a little obsessive when it comes to money, but like, for us, we're making bigger moves, arguably, both on the spending side and the revenue side, right?
Yeah.
So we could look at a snapshot monthly and probably get a quick grasp. On the producer side, they should be purchasing leads on a weekly basis, or they should be, like, having marketing go out on a weekly basis. So on the weekly side, it's more so analyzing, okay, I dropped mail 6 weeks ago and I got 20 leads back, and I was a lazy POS, and I spent technically whatever, $700 on this, and I only brought in $1,400. Why was that? Was it because my average deal size was really tiny? Did I get no referrals this week? Did I just make no dials, or did I just suck at selling? And then go to my upline or whatever and be like, okay, I spent $700, I made $1,400. How do I triple this?
Yeah.
If they don't know, most people know. They're like, I
Right.
was lazy this week, or my deal size was tiny, But if you can look at it each week, you get better real fast.
Makes sense. I like it. And you can certainly correct problems faster, right?
Mhm.
You didn't spend 3 weeks doing the same dumb bullshit
Yeah.
before you figured out like, oh, I wasn't supposed to be doing that. So yeah, makes sense to check in weekly. I like that a lot. What, oh shit. Now I lost my train of thought on that question, but, it was in regards to going back to LOAs, like, well, I'll have to come back to it. I'm completely lost on it at the moment. Bear with me. Sorry, guys. I had a great question, and then thinking about looking at things weekly kind of tore me off of it. But, let's just do it. We'll just flip it this way. What is probably the hardest lesson you've learned since you opened ATIG?
Oh man, you just light money on fire, right? and you got to be okay with it from a learning experience. You also have to be okay. I don't know what everyone's goals and dreams and aspirations are from a revenue standpoint. If you want to sell one day, whatever. But at least for me, and I like producing too, because I literally have a license to print money.
Yeah.
You need to have the affordability to spend money, make a mistake, own up to that mistake, and then go make up the revenue yourself somehow. Whether that's getting more talent if you don't want to personally produce, or maybe you suck at it because you've been out of the field for 10 years, whatever, right? So maybe you go acquire more talent or spend more money to get more revenue back. My token was, okay, I made a $45,000 mistake, like, I don't know, 8-9 months ago, based on like lead resources and marketing and stuff like that. And the LOAs weren't closing. And I was like, fuck, that sucks. So instead of being like, oh, I'm going to run a pity party or I'm going to crack the whip on these guys, I was like, let me go recoup that real quick. I ran an annuity seminar. 30 days later, I had like 62 grand. So profit plus paid myself back, that kind of thing. But having the wherewithal and emotional intelligence to know, like, I'm going to spend money. It's going to suck. I'm probably going to waste a lot of it in a learning experience fashion. And just being okay with that and not blaming anybody but yourself. It's very hard lesson to learn, because I know my talent, my skills. I know that if you gave me 10 leads, I should close at least 5 of them, like no matter what, or I'd be pissed at myself. Not everybody's got the same dream as you.
Sure.
And you can't want it more than they want it. So if that's the problem, either they need to go, or you got to be okay with the mediocrity that they're producing. So hard lesson to learn, especially monetarily, but it happens.
Understood. And you've obviously been in the business a long time. People that know you, they know a lot of your reputation, right? I'm curious, as you've gone into this new space that you're in, right? Starting your own agency, bringing people on from the ground up, so to speak. Was there a surprise that you didn't expect? Like, is there something like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then you got in, started doing it, and you're like, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't know that I was going to have to deal with that, or this blindsided me. Is there something that completely just shocked you as like, holy shit, I didn't know that was going to be part of what I have to deal with or do?
Twofold, I think. One, on a very zeros and ones thing, commissions processing fucking sucks. So if you're out there right now in La La Land watching this, being like, I want an LOA job so I can pull my full book, bitch, be prepared. Commissions processing blows ass.
Touche. I'm with you
God.
on that.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. So you need staff quicker than you thought you did, probably, unless you are the most like savant person with tech and automation. But still, like, these carriers, they put out spreadsheets that don't map to other spreadsheets, that don't map to commissions processing, and money gets lost. It's a shitstorm. So not realizing that, I thought like money would come to the ATIG account. We would just shell out the percentage and it'd be so easy. But when you got hundreds of policies paying on a weekly basis, you're like, bah! So having to hire people for sure. And then On the LOA side specifically, because you're really setting their comps more so than the broker side, gauging what people actually wanted from a like income standpoint. Like I thought, okay, I create this LOA based on the comp plan and based on the leads that we provide to them. They should be making like 70 to maybe if they kill it 100, but like conservatively 70, 75,000, whatever. You'd be very surprised. And like, based on my goals and aspirations, I don't want people making like 40 grand here. It doesn't make any sense. But how many people are just cool with 35, 40, 45,000 because maybe they wanted their time back. They made 40 or 50 and they're like, oh man, I could work with Pete and work 30 hours a week and make the same amount of money and free up 15 hours not working at Target or whatever. And like, no offense, that's not the type of person that I want working here. So figuring that out ahead of time, I was like, oh, I devised this huge, awesome comp plan. People are going to make so much money. They just didn't want to. And I was like, what the fuck? So you got to like take a step back and be like, all right, one, how do I attract the people that are one, go-getters, but two, like they have realistic expectations. I had an LOA interview the other day and he was like, I got to make $250,000 this year. I was like, you totally can, dude. You're going to work your fucking ass off. I was like, I can't even promise that. That's crazy. But setting the right expectations, one, and also marrying those expectations with the people that you're hiring and having the goals match the person was like a reality shock to me. I was like, not everyone has Tony Merwin goals. Well, what the shit is this? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, true. And I assume it's the work level, right? And not so much the monetary level. Like I don't feel like they get to 50K, for example, and are like, that's enough for me. Definitely don't want more money. I think it's the workload. I think it's like, nope, that's as much work as I want to put in. And if I get enough money that helps me pay my cable bill, then I'm okay. Right? I feel like that's where the sellout is, if you want to call it a sellout. But I think that's where they get to that comfort space. Like, this is as hard as I want to work. You can't convince me otherwise. And there's enough money with it that I can take care of myself.
Yeah,
and they settle.
That's a really good point too, because I saw it. I had a bonus program based on volume in a week, right? And on issue paid volume. So it was kind of like a lagging indicator, especially for final expense, right? If they don't draft till next week, it counts towards next week's numbers. But when you would get into the bonus pool, you had that bonus, let's say it was an extra 15% comp for every dollar that you put into that bonus pool for that specific week. And people would hit it. And like the number was 4,000. So you right over 4,000, you're getting 15% extra retro back to $1 for every dollar more that you put in there. Well, people would hit like 4,100 and be like, oh, I made it. It's Thursday. I'm going to go to the beach on Friday. And I was like, what is happening? So it is wild. The ratio of workload to income is very direct, I think, in the LOA space.
Yeah. I remember this. This is before insurance. I was working with a different sales group doing sports marketing and whatever. And we had a weekly goal that we wanted to hit. And if we hit that goal, we would get our volume bonus, which means our commissions would go up on every rip that we sold retroactively for that week. And a lot of guys, just like you said, like on Thursday or maybe Wednesday, they'd have a smoking week and they'd hit their volume discount already. And they still have 3 days left to go out and kill it. But they're like, nah, I'm good. I hit my VDV bonus. Like, I don't have to work anymore the rest of the week. And then me and our lady were like, I don't understand why they're doing that. Because and it's a weird thing, because I don't know if it's a problem with management maybe or leadership and saying, hey, like they're setting the standard on that bonus is like, this is what you have to hit. Anything beyond that is really not important. I don't know what's going on with that deal, but I've seen that where people will hit that. And then what all that really does is it unlocks more money for more production. But instead they're like, breaks. I hit it. Now I'm good. I don't have to work the rest of the week. Yeah. It's a weird conundrum with people there. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, and in constructing the LOA too, and I'm sure you guys do this yourself, it's a jumping off point. I don't want you as an LOA for 5 years. Right. That's insane. So like I would take people's comp plan and be like, okay, you made X. You could have made 3.5X. Now I understand it's scary to buy leads and stuff like that, but like here's the P&L where you're at with all the stuff for free that you're paying for in comp. And here's the other, even with you paying for leads. And some people were like, I'm good.
Right.
And you're like, oh my God. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's they see that there's that much more accountability and effort required to manage that. And they're like, nah, I'm fine. Right. I want some comfort. I want some security to know that the input is coming and all I got to do is this little repetitious thing over and over and over, which I'm good at, and I can have that.
Yep.
Right. And you can't really disparage people for that by any means, right? We need those people. We need good, solid people that are consistent like that to help us grow our businesses and support our businesses, you know?
Yep.
So certainly, I'm definitely not here to say that, hey, if you're one of those folks that doesn't want to be a millionaire, right? You're good making $300K and just going skiing and only working 4 or 5 days a week. Hey, more power to you. I have no issues with that. I'm kind of envious of you, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to wrap up here pretty quick, but I remembered the question that I was thinking of earlier, and it's like, what are you doing to generate leads for your LOA group?
So we have a telemarketing campaign internally. So we run like some Facebook ads and YouTube and Hulu and all this other nonsense, Instagram, etc. A lot of digital TV, getting more and more into that space. So consumer driven, call this 1-800 number for final expense or for Medicare support. And don't have the budget yet for like legit TV, but digital TV has been working pretty well. Standard social media ads, and then doing a lot more from a seminar perspective. So we have a couple different options for seminars. I never want to get into the mail space, but there are some great companies out there, White Glove, Leading Response, right, et cetera. So we'll do a comp split for some of the people that want to get into the seminar space, but maybe they're not like you or me, and they don't like talking in front of people. They just like running the appointments. So one of us will fly out and actually do the seminar for them and then help them with their case design and stuff like that for a comp split. Or they can just put on their own and we send them the White Glove Leading Response. We have my internal marketing team make all the seminar like PowerPoints and stuff like that. So they're really nice looking. So again, like we want our agents to be a Swiss Army knife. We want our lead processes to be kind of Swiss Army knife S2. I don't think any one lead resources works all the time. So you got to spread it out. Direct mail, I think, is still king, but it's, as always, every year it becomes more and more cost prohibitive. But we track everything on a CPA basis. So it really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, doubling back on another question that I missed, what are you doing to manage those commission processes that you hate dealing with?
Man, hiring people. For right now, I haven't found personally, everybody's got their 2 cents on this software is great, this one sucks, whatever. We have used Agency Block. We are still continuing to use Agency Block right now, but I also have 2 people managing that just exclusively. So if you think you're going to implement Agency Block for whatever it is, $149 a month, I don't even know what it costs. Right?
$615 a month is what I'm paying for mine now.
Yeah, something insane. You also need, like, I have 2 people on salary that just manage commission processing. So that's an added expense, and you have to factor that in. Like a lot of people have come to me and said, hey, I want to create an LOA shop, or Justin, right? Holy smokes, this is so huge. But like, I want to do this. I'm going to start with like 3. Okay, that's a good idea, but are you manually going to process all the commissions? Because, or me being argumentative, I don't think you could have 2 or 3 LOAs, pay for their leads, pay for their marketing, pay for commission processing, have a manager manage that process if you yourself don't want to do it, because your margins go like this.
You are absolutely correct.
Yeah.
You described pretty close to my shop at the moment, right? We got 3 LOAs and myself, and I'm kind of overseeing everything.
And you have to, right? When you start, you have to.
Right. I have 3 VAs that help, but they're not helping with, they help with some of the data entry on policies and all that stuff, right? They like the agent writes an app. I got a data entry person that gets it all in the system follows up on it, does customer service work, does prospecting work, etc. But this asshole is still having to process commissions because I can't really afford, truthfully. I'm close. We're probably going to hire our first real admin this year to do some more for us. Like most of the work that I've been trying, as far as extra hands, as far as hiring extra hands, I've been trying to only hire extra hands to create more productivity for the salesperson.
Yes.
Right. To free up their time to make sure that sales, right. And now I'm getting the point like, all right, I'm pretty close. We're going to hire an admin, and I think we'll be able to get one for this fall to get ready for AEP. But still, like, I'm the one that every month runs commissions. Like, I have to go in and do all that. I understand the pain in the ass that it is. I totally get your pain. But I haven't opened it up. I thought about hiring a VA to do it for me. I know Eugene Marchenko has VAs that are trained in agency block on how to manage commissions, etc. And I think it's just ultimately my ego has not let it up yet.
It's also, I don't blame you for that either, because we had not necessarily Eugene's team, but we had a team with a prior commissions processing portal that everyone and their mom suggested to me, both on the VA side and the commissions processing side. And they royally fucked it up. So like, I understand, like, you don't want to relinquish this. I was like, dude, I got to free up my time so I can grow this. And then you wake up in 30 days and you're like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
So you still got to monitor as time, goes forward. But yeah.
I feel like if I'm going to have someone else do it, which ultimately I do, I want that person in house. I want to be able to see that person, look at that person, because they are handling arguably the most important piece of my entire business, which is the money in and money out. Right. I need to make sure that it's accounted for properly. So very good. Very good. Well, man, I appreciate you taking some time to chat with us today and stop by. What is next? Where are you headed? Like, what's the plans for ATIG?
My short-term, long-term goal, but really short-term, is I want 1,000 agents making 100,000 a year. That's the sole goal that I'm focused on right now, because if I could get that, in terms of, and I want to help them get there, right? It's not like, oh God, you produce $100,000 a year in final expense.
Jump on my team.
That'd be nice, but
Sure.
I want to cultivate it because if they're making the money is going to roll up 10x or 100x or whatever it is. So that's the immediate goal. Excited for AEP, but I think, like, we joke all the time in conferences and stuff like that, or at the bar every once in a while, is like, everybody's in this like prep mode. Dude, just run your business. It's the same as the rest of the year. It's all good. We're all going to be tired and stuff, but it's not like I got to halt everything because open enrollment is coming. And we have open enrollment, not like we do a lot of ACA, but we have open enrollment for Medicare, ACA, group benefits. Like, it's a busy time of year. We'll all be okay.
You're going to get through it. Just get your certs done, get yourself ready, have your leads in order, but that's about it.
Yep.
Eat your Wheaties, because you're probably going to work longer hours in those 9 weeks.
Yeah, eat clean. Get some green juice that Tony's got.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, man, thank you for stopping by. If agents want to reach out to you, what's the easiest way to find Pete Fournier?
Any social media at peterjfournier.com. And
I will attest to that, because you're everywhere. I see you on all the Insta platforms, et cetera, et cetera. So congratulations on 100,000 followers on Instagram. That's an awesome milestone.
Thanks, brother.
If you're out there listening to this and you're not following Pete Fournier on Instagram, I highly encourage it. He puts out some really cool stuff, and I'm sure at some point he'll probably do another 30 days to 100K that we can follow along with him while he's doing it. So those are all cool, man. Thanks for taking time. Have an awesome day, and tuning in. Thank you, guys. We're going to be here next week, and just to tell you, like, who's coming next week, let me just throw it, because I put together a pretty stellar lineup for the next several weeks. Next Tuesday, we have Stacy Rasky going to join us. If you don't remember her, she is going to talk to us about behavioral stuff, the things that make us tick, the things that make guys like Pete Fournier say the foul language that he says. Stuff like that. We're going to get into that next week. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you. It's been another great Tuesday training. Have an awesome week.
See you, brother.